my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek. I'm sitting down with Jim Godden, who has brought us a prototype. So, asterisks on this, that some things are still under development.
Yes.
And artwork may change from what you see now to what you see later.
Yeah.
But you brought us Northgard, the Uncharted Lands.
Yes, exactly. So, Northgard Uncharted Lands is a game of conquest and exploration set in the universe of Northgard, which is the video game that you might know. It's on Steam, and it's a game where you play clans of Viking, uncovering a new continent and trying to be basically the biggest Viking in town. So like conquer and win by having the most, the most lands, or being the most developed, or have the best trade routes and stuff like that. So this game is aimed to be, I'd say, a 20 minutes per player game, where each player will have a clan of Vikings. It's card driven, so you will have in your hands the cards that you can.
Right, so we have got some examples here.
That's the definite illustrations for some of the cards here. The layout and everything is not final, but that's the idea. So the cards will depict the kind of actions you'll be able to play during your turn. Okay, so you have your deck of actions. Each player can play an action one after the other until all players have passed. When you play your action, you will move on this on a board which is modular. Okay, it's a tile laying mechanism. So what happens? All the players will start on like a small area, and whenever you explore your Viking, you add a new tile. You can move on there, and then from there on the board will like change and move as the game goes. The thing is that there's also a deck building element into it, because at the end of each turn you'll be able to improve the type of actions you can do with like technological advancements, like a technology tree that is in the video game. So for instance, as you can see, you have the recruit basic action, which is here. There's no icon yet, but it basically says add 1 dude to the map, and if you take the town hall upgrade, you can suddenly add 2. Okay, so that's how it works. So you play all those cards. It's pretty fast-paced.
Yeah.
Like people can move quite freely. There's a lot of action and combats, which is dealt by each Viking will have represent a die of combat action, and you will be able to strategically win or to kill the opponents depending on the results that you'll have, and then seize control of the territories. So the goal of the game is to basically either reach like a certain amount of victory points, fame as we call, or be able to have like 3 territories closed and fully developed with some big buildings. The way you can get victory points is pretty varied. You can get it by exploring, you can get it by fighting, you can get it by getting the icons on the board. So there's lots of means to get to your end.
Which makes it pretty likely there's good replayability, because there's lots of strategies to dive into.
Yes, exactly. The goal is that to have like you can take different paths to victory through the different kind of actions. Each player will have a specific clan that will add some extra ability on the cards. There are 5 different clans. Some are more toward development and getting the resources. Some are more fighting guys and stuff like that.
When do you have an prediction of when you think it's going to be ready?
Yeah, actually we're aiming for a Kickstarter campaign in July.
Okay.
Yeah. So there will be more of all that coming very soon. We will post some things on Board Game Geek and everything, because we're moving quite fast on that, trying to produce some illustrations, work on the concept arts for the miniatures and stuff like that. There will be like, in the box you will find some tiles, something like 100 cards for the Viking actions, but also creatures that roam the land and you might have to fight or control to move on the board.
A few minis of some kind.
Yes, and like in the base game, like 70 miniatures, like 60 small Vikings, 25 millimeters, and 35 millimeters heroes and monsters.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned it has a BGG entry already. If
No,
people
it's
want
about to happen.
About to
like,
happen. Okay.
like
Soon.
I don't know. We're Friday. I'm hoping to do that by Monday.
Okay. Well, if you guys want to check that out, at least you have a few more days before you can go find it on BGG. But that is Northgard, Uncharted Lands.
Yes.
And Jim, thank you so much for letting us take a quick tour.
Thanks for your time. Thank you.